Hello, I'm Cheryl Hawkins. Welcome to Solutions, the series that highlights the incredible work that nonprofits do every day to help solve problems in our communities. On this edition of Solutions, we are highlighting Cornerstone Montgomery. Cornerstone Montgomery started as a small nonprofit organization offering safe and supportive housing for their clients in Montgomery County, Maryland. Now, with the support of the community, and after more than 50 years of providing behavioral health services in Montgomery County, Cornerstone Montgomery has grown to provide therapy and medication services, employment services, crisis services, and everything in between. Cornerstone Montgomery employees love where they work, and their clients love the new lives they found because of Cornerstone Montgomery. Let's take a look.
Coming to Cornerstone Montgomery was kind of like coming home.
About 26 years ago, and I have absolutely no regrets.
I actually do love the entire staff.
Coming into Cornerstone Montgomery, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And they have provided me with so many opportunities that I still am not sure what I want to do.
Not only is it a great place to work with a great reputation and wonderful people and wonderful values, but it also gave me the chance to get back into what I love, which is working with individuals with chronic mental illness and helping them to live their best lives.
Every staff member needs to be an advocate, not only for their clientele, but for the organization as well.
We all have struggles in life. So Cornerstone Montgomery and staff provides all of that all services towards a better life for our clients.
You can actually see someone from the beginning to the middle to the end of their stages, either of substance use or mental health issues. You just get to see each stage.
I am doing the best I can. And I shouldn't be as frustrated with myself or others because they're doing the best they can too.
She really keeps me grounded and focused on, okay, we have to do this in order to get to this next step.
It is an awesome program.
Who can't argue with my smile?
For us to be able to be a part of that process and see people's smiles and know that we're changing lives, and it's something that keeps us coming back to work every day.
It's great because every time I ask someone, it kind of all just kind of rolls down to, again, the same mission. I'm here to help people.
To act as an advocate, I think demonstrates that our clients, the ones we serve, are not forgotten, that they have allies. And I think that's a noble cause.
Now joining me in studio to share more about Cornerstone Montgomery is Marissa Gillum, Cornerstone Montgomery's Chief Administrative Officer. Marissa, welcome to Solutions.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. Now, Cornerstone Montgomery has been around a long time, over 50 years. Tell me, how did Cornerstone Montgomery get started?
So Cornerstone started as St. Luke's House in 1971, which was the first publicly funded group home in the state of Maryland and one of the first in the United States. Over the years, with community support, we grew into other services, therapy, clinic services, vocational services, and then later Threshold Services, which was another nonprofit organization at the time doing similar services, started in 1981. Around 2000, let's say, 10, we discovered that we'd been doing a lot of work together, and we commenced a merger of the two organizations, which was completed in 2012, and formed what we know today as Cornerstone Montgomery. So
I love it. Who came up with the name? Or do you know?
It was a group effort. I think we actually went through a few names, and then we landed on Cornerstone Montgomery because we do, we're the cornerstone of the community. So.
Yeah, I was going to say that's like the foundation of the community, of a building, the cornerstone. So that's
Absolutely.
Perfect. So how many people do you serve at Cornerstone Montgomery, and who do you serve? What's your target population?
So we have the ability to serve over 2,500 youth and adults that are dealing with severe mental illness. We looked at the whole person, so from the beginning to end. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's great.
It is.
From beginning to end. And we'll talk a little bit about what that means from beginning to end. But tell me a little bit about your story. What's your background and how did you personally get interested in the type of work you do at Cornerstone Montgomery?
Well, I actually started as an aspiring psychiatrist.
Okay.
I did my background in education in psychology and sociology, a few internships, and in working with different nonprofits in my earlier career, I learned quickly that the work that was being done behind the scenes in the administrative offices was just as hard as important. Thank you, as what's being done on the ground. So I did my master's of social work in nonprofit administration. Over my 20 plus, I'm just going to leave it there, years in the business, I've done everything from administration, fund development, grants and contracts. I work primarily with accrediting nonprofit organizations to make sure that they're providing the best quality care and services, and that led me to Cornerstone Montgomery in 2015.
Awesome. So when you say accredited, nonprofits have to be accredited in providing these kinds of services?
Yes. In order to provide mental health services in the state, in most states, you have to be accredited by a accrediting organization. We are CARF accredited. So,
do you have to renew that over and over, like a university has to?
Absolutely.
You do that
Absolutely. Too? And we're proud to say we renew every 3 years. I think we just completed our third round, so we have been accredited by CARF for the past 9 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So what makes Cornerstone Montgomery unique compared to other organizations that provide the same types of services that you do?
I think one of the things that makes us unique is that we do get to see clients across the lifespan. In some of our programs, we offer services to as young as 5 years old and all the way through end-of-life care. So we get to experience, and then we also have a wraparound services. So when you integrate our programs, clients can not only receive therapy services, they may also be in our housing services, they may also be in our vocational services. So we get to target different aspects of their life to make sure they're successful in the community.
So Cornerstone Montgomery distinguishes itself by offering comprehensive support across the entire lifespan of individuals, like you just said, with mental health challenges, starting with children, like you said, as young as 5?
As young as 5.
5 years old, through programs like IHIP and extending services to clients through end-of-life care. What is IHIP first?
IHIP is a program that actually is in our Southern Maryland region. Last year we acquired Southern Maryland Community Network, so now our services are not only in Montgomery County, but we are also in Charles County, Calvert County, and St. Mary's County.
Okay.
IHIP is a program that helps children remain in home that are experiencing mental health challenges, and they work with the children and their families in their home to help stabilize.
So you're talking about working with children as young as 5 with mental health issues?
Absolutely.
How does a parent determine that's happening with a child? You may not know, but I'm just curious at 5 years old.
I'd be acting out behaviors, different, maybe troublets in school or learning in the earlier stages of life. We don't see things that are as severe as schizophrenia at the age of 5, of course, but children nowadays, especially that we've learned since the pandemic, are dealing with anxiety, depression, trying to interact with their peers, and just difficulties there. So
that's interesting, because a lot of parents may not suspect that that's a mental health challenge. That is just a child being a little child acting out. So that's interesting. Give us an overview of the types of services and programs you offer at Cornerstone.
Like I said, we run a gamut in youth services, including IHIP. We have psychiatric rehabilitation programs for youth as well. We have our transitional age youth program that starts at age 16, where we help youth with psychiatric diagnoses get employment and just transition through housing, the different aspects of life. We also have our clinical services, which include our outpatient mental health clinics. We have 3 locations in Montgomery County, but we also provide telehealth services so that we can serve within the entire state of Maryland. Our ACT program, which is like clinic, but we find that a lot of clients who are experiencing severe mental illness do not work well in the traditional setting. So our ACT program, actually, our sort of community treatment, goes out into the community, works mainly with homeless shelters and other providers where the client can be served in their home. We send the psychiatrist or the nurse practitioner out, the nursing services, the therapist. So the services that like they would receive in our administrative offices can be given in the community.
In the community.
And then we also have our crisis program, which is a diversion and or step down program from psychiatric hospitalization. So we try to meet people where they are. So maybe to prevent actually having to go to the hospital and doing a psychiatric hospitalization, that would be our diversion. And then, or if you're coming from psychiatric hospital before you return back into the community or return back into your normal life, we do attend 14 days crisis program.
And a crisis is what? When the person is feeling feelings that maybe?
I would define a crisis as, at this point, their psychosis has made it so that they're not able to perform their daily activities to their satisfaction. And that could be, high-level depression, unable to get out of bed and go to work. That could be hearing voices, just make what they would determine as a crisis, and they're not at what we call baseline. You're not your normal self.
Just a normal self. Okay. And so, do they reach out to you or somebody? When does a person know I need to? Or does it depend on the person? I'm having a crisis situation.
Some know, some don't, and are referred to our program from the community or from the hospital. If they've already been hospitalized, they'll step down to our program to make sure that they're ready to go back.
Okay. So tell me about your residential rehabilitation program and how many people are you serving there?
Our residential program, we now serve 243, we have 243 beds that we can have at any time. We serve in Montgomery County, Charles County, actually in Calvert County right now. And where we do there, we have different levels of care because, people are at different levels of their life. So we have our general level where you have a client who is experiencing mental health concerns but is more independent. We might have them in like an apartment model where they're living with a roommate, and staff will just drop by every few days, or they'll drop by every day to monitor medication if that's something that they need. We help them learn different skills, whether it's cooking, accessing transportation, getting a job, all the way to our intensive level program where we'll have 24-hour supports. So clients who are have more severe psychosis.
And people living in the rehabilitation homes, you said that they may be in an apartment with another person. Are they always coupled with other people, or do some live in spaces by themselves?
In our residential program, everyone has a roommate or up to 8 roommates, depending on if it's a more of a RRP, which we call a single residence, or a group home.
Talk a little bit about the people who work there at Cornerstone Montgomery. How large is your staff, and what types of professionals work there?
We are blessed to work with more than 400 very committed and mission-driven individuals, although we're always looking for more, just a plug for employment. And that we're what we call a treatment team. Clients may work depending on what programs they are in with residential counselors, specialists, psychiatrists, nurse practitioners, nurses, therapists, a complete gamut of psychiatric professionals, as well as our staff that are in our administrative offices behind the scenes.
So how does a person get to you if they need your services?
For most of our programs, the referrals come through our local behavioral health authority. So depending on what county you're in, you would go through the county LBHA and be referred, with the exception of our clinic program, which does have LBHA referrals, but we also accept some private insurances.
And so you provide a whole bunch of services. How are you funded? How are you making all this happen?
Like I say, sparingly. But we primarily Medicaid funded. Clients have Medicaid, Medicare access that we bill. We also have government, local, state, federal government contracts and grants, and by generous donations from the community.
Awesome. Marissa, thank you so much for being here on Solutions and sharing about what you do. Is such critical work and services that you provide in the community. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, I'll be joined by Karina Campbell, Clinic Director at Cornerstone Montgomery. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So I contacted the vocational director and I said, tell me why I should interview for this position. And he said, because you're going to give clients hope. You're going to give them the belief and the tool for them to actually achieve what they had forgotten or lost or they thought wasn't possible. And then I said, okay, sign me up.
My sense of dignity has improved. Because of Cornerstone Montgomery, I have gotten more involved in advocacy that has not only opened doors for just people I know who want to be supportive but maybe don't know how, but it's also opened doors as far as a new career path.
It makes me feel great that I'm contributing to that. I'm a part of it, and I just see amazing things for the agency, for Cornerstone Montgomery. And, for those who come join us, I think, you will see it too.
Welcome back. I'm Cheryl Hawkins. You're watching Solutions, the series that highlights the great work that nonprofits do in our communities. On this episode, we are highlighting Cornerstone Montgomery and the work they do to help residents in Maryland find solutions to their challenges. My guest on this segment is Karina Campbell. Karina is the Clinic Director at Cornerstone Montgomery. Karina, welcome to Solutions.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. So, as Clinic Director at Cornerstone Montgomery, what are your responsibilities?
Yeah, absolutely. So I work closely with our Chief Medical Officer to ensure high quality delivery of service. I also work very closely with the other program directors and other departments within Cornerstone. I supervise our administrative and clinical personnel, and I also work with treatment teams, families, clients, to ensure, like I said earlier, that quality of care for our clients. And I also implement policies and procedures and develop those as well. So sort of overall operations of the clinic.
Yeah, very important stuff. Sounds like you're doing. So tell me a little bit about you. What's your background and what brought you to work for Cornerstone?
Yeah, so I am a licensed clinical social worker in the state of Maryland, DC, and Virginia, and I have been in the field for over 17 years. And I've worked in a vast array of settings in my clinical work. So, residentials to other clinics to IOP and PHP programs, even the court system. So I'm really have a lot of experience that I wanted to continue the work that I'm doing in this field. And when I came across Cornerstone, one of the things that really kind of impressed me was, as Marissa talked earlier, about this comprehensive sort of programming that Cornerstone offers their clients in the community. So there's so many programs that they offer, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. So that really kind of reeled me in. And then when I went to one of the clinics, I actually saw a lot of artwork on the wall, and I was like, well, wait a minute, what's that? And I was really impressed with the idea that those were arts of work from clients who are participating in the Studio Insight program. So again, that drew me into Cornerstone and what they had to offer. Not to mention that they really do drive quality of care for their clients, which is truly important to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a social worker, what drove you there? I think social workers are very special people. They're caring and compassionate. And I don't know if that's something you felt as a young person you wanted to help others, or did something trigger you to say, I think I want to become a social worker?
Yeah, so very early on, I definitely felt the need for caring for others. That's something that's kind of been ingrained in me from even like my family, right? And so I was always the person that people would come and talk to or ask for advice. And I was like, well, wait a minute, what field can help me?
Do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I thought about a lot of different things, but social work just felt like the right fit. And I'm really very happy that I was able to pursue that goal because it's been amazing.
That's fantastic, because it does take soul searching when you're trying to figure out what to do with your life. I kind of went through that myself when I was a certain age, wondering, what am I going to make a career out of? And you started thinking about the things you like you said, and then you start thinking, well, how can I make that a career?
Yeah,
absolutely. So that's perfect. So what are some of the mental health challenges that your clients present to your staff for services?
So our clients come with a vast array of mental health challenges with, disorders that include, schizophrenia, schizoaffective, bipolar disorder, anxiety, depression. And so they come with a lot of those challenges, and our team works really closely with them in the clinic, doing individual counseling, group counseling. There's medication management to support that they're able to overcome those mental health and substance abuse as well challenges also. Yeah.
So have they already been diagnosed when they come to you, or do sometimes you all have to do that?
Yeah, so in some cases they may have seen providers in the past and have come with a diagnosis, but we always provide an intake process that allows for us to do our own diagnosis of what's going on with that client, not only with our licensed clinical staff there, but also our prescribers or psychiatrists as well, to help kind of really make sure that we're addressing the true needs of the client.
And are you all prescribing medications, or you're actually doing that too?
Yeah, we have psychiatrists and psychiatric nurse practitioners who are able to prescribe medication.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. So what are some of the challenges you all face in serving your clients?
So our clients can come with challenges that include, homelessness or financial issues. Maybe there's been a lapse in their insurance. Maybe there's a lack of family or social supports. And so there's a lot of different things. That's only just to name a few, right, of the things that could be going on for them. We're really, really good about collaborating, not just within Cornerstone, but with those other social workers, community agencies, medical providers, because some of our clients also come with chronic medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity. So we want to make sure that, again, we're providing that true quality of care. And so we reach out to those folks to make sure that we're truly servicing the client in the best way possible.
Talk a little bit about that artwork that you saw. What kind of program are your clients being involved in that they're creating art?
So the Studio and Site program is one of the programs that Cornerstone offers. And essentially it's to help ensure emotional stability and well-being, but they are able to provide do artwork in that setting. And there's art in every clinic that we have, and it's also able to be purchased in some cases. So people are able to look and see and purchase the artwork of the clients that they've created, and it's a nice reminder to see even some clients' progress over time of what's going on for them through their art.
You can see that in the art. So do you have artists come in to help them, guide them to get going with the art, or do they already have inclinations to want to create?
Yeah, so both happen, right? So there's an inclination sometimes, but being able to have a service that's offered that maybe they didn't even know existed sometimes can spark that interest, right? And so we do have people who come in to run and support the groups, but we allow true expression for them in the way that they see fit on the campus.
Do you use music as well?
Funny enough, I was actually was in a group the other day, and they were playing some music as well while they were doing some of the art.
Yeah, and I brought that up because I just came from a memorial service for a very dear friend, and she had dementia. And her sister had said, I was trying to find ways that I could reach her, because she didn't know who she was anymore. She said, I found music, made us connect.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
So for those watching who are interested in receiving services through the clinic, how can they get started or reach you?
Yeah, so they can apply on our website at cornerstonemontgomery.org, and there is a button at the top right corner that says Apply for Services, and it'll bring them to an application that they can fill out. Our intake coordinator will follow up with them to identify sort of the next steps in conducting an intake. And one of the great things about Cornerstone as well is for the clinic, there's 3 different locations. There's Silver Spring, Bethesda, and Rockville. So we're able to provide client services at a location that's nearest to them.
So you're staffing people at all those locations, or
Absolutely.
do people have to go to the different locations? Do they travel from one to the other, or you're staffing them all?
So there's staff that are at each location that provide all the services that we generally provide. So if the client is closest to our Rockville location, they're able to see a prescriber, at that location, as well as a therapist, as well as sometimes groups, right? So all the services are offered at each location.
So do you have to develop kinds of training and stuff for the staff that you supervise?
Yeah, so all of the clinical staff, like our therapists, are social workers or counselors, so they have their trainings through their boards and continued education, but we also at the clinic provide training and support for them as well as we continue to grow and learn more about different things that are going on with the symptoms that are presented to us. Yeah.
I'm wondering, do you have any success stories that you'd like to share? You're doing such great work.
Yeah. There's many, but there is one that comes to mind. And this is about, there's a young man who's been with Cornerstone for over 10 years. And when he came into the program, he was homeless and living in a tent, and even had troubles getting an ID because he was transitioning from female to male. And he started off at one of our clinics and then later on started working with our vocational team. And he was able to eventually get a job and work at get a job at as a aide in a nursing home, and also get his own apartment
outside of
Cornerstone. So with the help of Cornerstone, he was able to achieve those things, which is pretty amazing. And currently, I know that he's raising funds for a GoFundMe to achieve his vocational goals as a recovery coach.
Oh, wow.
So, Cornerstone has been an integral part in his growth and development, which is something that we're really focused on, is the client's growth. He's been able to, understand his own feelings and improve his own self-reliance and self-care. And we're really, really quite impressed with, the work that he's done. And he's exceeded the expectations that he even could set out for himself. So we're truly excited to see what's more to come from him.
That is awesome. So that is a testament to what you're doing, and I'm so happy to hear about Cornerstone Montgomery and the work you're doing, and thank you for being here on Solutions and sharing it all with us.
Of course, thank you.
Yeah. Again, I'd like to thank my guests, Marissa Gillum, Chief Administrative Officer, and Karina Campbell, Clinic Director of Cornerstone Montgomery, for being my guests on this episode of Solutions. If you'd like more information about Cornerstone Montgomery, you can visit their website at cornerstonemontgomery.org, or you can call them at 301-715-3673. I'm Cheryl Hawkins. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time for more Solutions.